Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. Hopefully resonate throughout the week. That would be great. So we'll give it a minute while everybody finds me and pops on, but let's start with some breathing. Nice deep belly breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just letting yourself relax. Hopefully by now as you've been doing this with me for however long, some of you have been at this probably the whole 10, 11 years I've been doing this. Others of you may be newer to the process, but it doesn't take long for your body to get the hint that when you start doing, good morning, Judy, welcome. You're the first one here today. Those nice deep belly breaths, it cues your body. Okay, time to relax, time to focus, time to settle in. Good morning, Beth. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. So practicing up that breathing, and the other benefits of that are just amazing stuff. Again, when you first start breathing deeply like that, you might feel a little lightheaded because your body isn't used to getting the oxygen it needs. As you train your body up, it gets much easier. We have had people who've talked about going in for medical procedures and they're checking their breathing and them commenting on how well someone is able to use their lung capacity. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Welcome. So it's well worth your effort just to breathe a couple of times. We practice in the morning, and then throughout the day when it pops into your head, go ahead and breathe. So a couple more. Nice deep breaths in through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Filling up that belly, chest barely moving at all, just filling up the belly. In and out. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome, welcome. Glad everybody's popping on. This is good. Glad you're all here. And we have a treat today. Tosha Silver, Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. And I believe wholeheartedly the reason this book popped up today as what we are meant to be utilizing is because I was in that place of, I just did some journaling this morning. What am I meant to be doing? What am I supposed to be focusing on? Am I doing enough? Blah, 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 blah. So the section in the book is very pointed in that direction. So if you got your copy, we are going to be on page 64. At least it's 64 in my book. So again, another nice deep breath in. Let it go. And just settle yourself in with your intuitive ears open, ready to receive whatever part of this message is for you. So the chapter is entitled, The Secret Bonfire of the Desires. And there's two quotes at the beginning. What the universe will manifest when you are in alignment with it is a lot more interesting than what you try to manifest. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Looks like someone else may have popped past. Glad you're here. So that quote is actually by Adashanti. I'm going to read it again because I really like that one. Good morning, Janine. Welcome. Glad you're here. What the universe will manifest when you are in alignment with it is a lot more interesting than what you try to manifest. Good morning, Amy. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. The second quote is by David Wilcox. You can come to God as a lover or as a prostitute. So the basic gist of this little section, I'll call it a chapter. It's 3 pages, but it's kind of like bathroom reading, you know. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Welcome. The basic gist of this chapter is, are you trying to run your life through your ego, or are you trying to run your life through your heart and soul? And there is a vast difference in your style when you're coming from ego than when you're coming from heart and soul, and your outcomes. The process and the outcomes are different when you're coming from ego than when you're coming from heart and soul. So let's see what the chapter says and see what resonates with all of you. Carol, a member of a local meditation group, called for a reading. Every day she was up at dawn to sit and chant and do hatha yoga before work. She kept a picture of her spiritual teacher on her dashboard that she gazed at lovingly during red lights. More than anything else, she said she wanted to know God. Yet, She called because she also wanted to know when her other big desires would finally hatch. She was on a 4-state hunt to bag the right husband. She was on fire for financial success. She longed to own a home, have a few kids, and be on Oprah. So she was saying that she only wanted enlightenment, the supreme knowledge of her own heart, yet she seethed every day in a cauldron of unmet longings. She visualized, wrote constant lists of her dreams, and made manifestation boards with cutout pictures of all her desires. Any of you ever done that? And I actually followed through with what Tosha advised this woman before I moved here, and I can't tell you the freedom it created. So hang on and we'll see what she says. Now, at the point that Tosha was giving this woman a reading, she was still practicing as an astrologist. So she says, I went over Carol's transits for the hour, then alarmed her by shifting gears. Why not take her endless piles of lists and boards to the beach and torch the whole lot? Do what in India would be called a yana, a sacred fire. Offer the whole mess of attachments fully and completely to the Lord of her own heart. And let go. After all, she said she wanted God more than anything. Rather than badger the divine day and night with her lists, why not pray to receive the highest plan? Everything could be offered to divine order, saying that the perfect route was already selected and she would be guided. If she prayed only for the divine will, the leads to follow would appear at the right time. I've seen this again and again. When the Law of Attraction books became big a few years ago, I began to hear more and more stories like Carol's. Yes, our minds are vastly powerful. We have enormous power to manifest. What we think and anticipate, often we do attract. But if we draw it with grasping and attachment, and I'm going to add in there, and ego, suffering will inevitably follow as night follows any day. A friend of mine jokingly calls one of the books The Secret to More Karma. Yet if you invite divine order into all of your affairs, you offer your life to a higher, more sublime plan, far beyond the pyrotechnics of the ego. You dance through the world with the divine beloved, knowing that whatever you need, one way or another, will always, always come. So again, it's that idea of, can we let go of the steering wheel here? Can we allow Spirit, Universe, God, Creator, however you frame that, to drive the bus? And we're the faithful followers. We're sitting in the middle of the bus, the back of the bus, right behind the driver, wherever you like to sit. But we're allowing things to unfold. So when we use, I'm going to grab mine here because I just put a couple things in there this morning. When we use our God jar, when we put in there the things we're worried about, the things we want to manifest, the things we're freaking about, etc., basically the gist behind that is, and then we release it. We let it go. We make our ask, and then we release it. We don't dog it every day. We don't try to make it feel the way it is, blah, 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 blah. We allow the unfolding. So where are you at on that? Let's take a little inventory here. So why don't you take a nice deep breath. Let it go. And I want that honest voice within you to give you a little guidance about how are you doing with letting go of outcomes. Merely following the signs, doing your daily business, letting go of the outcomes. How are you doing on that? Listen. And if the message you're getting from the wise part of you is you're hanging on too tight, practice. Make a literal movement, okay? Because holding on too tight to me looks like this. Let it go. Release it. Turn it over. Practice that during the day. Maybe you have a movement. Maybe it's this thing. Whatever is going to cue you. Okay, yeah, I'm hanging on too tight. Let's say you're driving to work. And let's say there's extra traffic and you're fearing you're going to be late getting to work and you feel the tightness on the steering wheel. Let it go. turn it over. You being upset, yes, relax and release. You being upset is not going to get you there any faster, okay? Relaxing, releasing, letting it go, acknowledging what is. Reality is, I'm here in traffic, it's moving slowly, it's likely I'll be late. There's nothing I can do about that other than manage myself. Other than manage myself. So again, asking within, how am I doing on that? How am I doing on managing myself and allowing my life path to unfold as it's meant to? Or am I hanging on to every outcome and, fretting about things and checking and, making the lists and all that stuff? It's guidance. It's guidance. Again, you have free will. You can choose whatever it is you want to do. If you want to keep dogging stuff, you go right ahead and do that. I'd like you to pay attention to how do those work out. When there's the things that you want to manifest and you turn them over and you follow the signs, how does that work? Compared to when you're hanging on to something, you're trying to make it happen, you're dogging it, how do they go differently? Just pay attention, just notice. Does that mean it's going to be easy the next time something pops up? Even though you have the history and the outcomes to make the case that turning it over works great? No, that doesn't make the next one that comes along any easier, really, because we have a hard time hanging on to that history. Maybe you make a 3x5 card. I'm going to grab one of mine here. And you make a list of the times when you turned something over and it worked out. The times when how something worked out wasn't exactly how you thought it would, but it actually was better. So thus our statement, this or something better. So when we turn something over, when we put it into our God jar, when we release it to the universe to manage that field, I'm going to grab that one too, that field of infinite possibilities, when we do that, pay attention. How does it feel? How does it turn out? Be that curious observer, all right? So what I'd like you to take out of this opportunity is the willingness to practice turning that stuff over, allowing for the divine unfolding. Tosha has a thing in the book here where it's kind of a saying she uses to help herself move into that. The correct answer is already on its way to me. It's already been selected. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm going to receive. Just repeat. So you're turning it over. You're not making it about you and how you think it ought to be. Allow it to be that much bigger, better thing. Have an awesome Tuesday, y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.